Now, this new Roc Nation lawsuit, it basically just proves what a lot of us been saying. Tory's been innocent this whole time. And it ain't even just about him now. There's 2 other people that came out and said Roc Nation did it in the same way. And get this, even the police said they got played by Desiree Perez to push fake charges. To me, this sounds like a pattern, not no one-off. From the jump, Tory Lanez has been saying loud and clear he was getting set up, that this whole case wasn't legit, and the people behind it, Desiree Perez, Roc Nation, and Megan's camp. He said they were trying to paint Megan as the victim and make him the bad guy, not for justice, but for marketing. Because let's be real, the media loves the rapper boyfriend shoots rising star angle way more than the real mess. Megan and her best friend supposedly got into it, hands thrown, chain snatched, all over the same dude. Megan had been messing with her friend's man behind her back, and when it came out, it got ugly. Megan's taller, bigger, so her friend allegedly pulled a strap and started firing out of fear. But here's the thing, nobody actually hit Megan. When they got pulled over, neighbors had called the cops about gunshots. Megan had glass in her foot. That's the injury they showed. Still a wild night, but not the headline they wanted. So what happened? Allegedly, Roc Nation and Desiree Perez twisted the whole story to sell something juicier. A narrative that pushed Megan's image up and crushed Tory's. Now, we've seen Roc Nation spin narratives before. You remember with the Chris Brown and Rihanna situation? He put hands on her, but the real story is that Rihanna hit him first, and he reacted out of rage, which completely isn't right, but it is exactly what happened. Roc Nation flipped the whole story, made it look like Chris just snapped because he got caught cheating, and the media ran with it. That's their game. They protect their artists by any means, even if that means twisting the facts. Same playbook with Megan. She came out the case clean. Grammys, awards, and this one's mystifying, but even a songwriting award. And I said mystifying because I don't think she writes her music. Somebody in the comments gotta let me know. But I'm sitting in the background like, for what exactly is she getting awarded for? But either way, Roc Nation made her come out looking like the golden child. So when Tory said they set him up, it didn't sound so crazy, especially now that there's actual receipts backing up his claims. Even Desiree Perez's own daughter is saying it now. She's claiming that Desiree, with Roc Nation's help, pulled the same type of setup on her and her husband that they allegedly did to Tory Lanez.
A South Florida woman is taking legal action after she says she spent nearly 2 weeks in mental health institutions for no legitimate reason.
She claims in a recently filed lawsuit that it was all orchestrated by her own mother, and others who should have protected her failed her.
NBC6 investigative reporter Amy Viteri has her story.
So legally, I can't go home.
No, you cannot.
Why?
Because you're being Baker acted.
Body camera video shows the moments Broward deputies encouraged DeMaurie Hadley to get into this pickup truck with people she says she didn't know.
I can't ride with you and you guys take me?
You're going to be in handcuffs? The dog's not going to be able to
I don't
come?
want to be handcuffed.
Okay.
DeMaurie says they took her to a hospital for a mental health evaluation after this doctor signed paperwork saying she was a risk to herself.
What he told me was, we received a call from your family that you tried to OD the night before.
A doctor she says she'd never met before.
They allegedly lured Desiree Perez's daughter to a parking lot under the guise of a business meeting. Then out of nowhere, strangers tried to force her into a car and send her to a psych ward. And she was just confused, like, I don't know y'all. But they were claiming that a doctor she's never even met claimed that she was a danger to herself. Now she's claiming that Desiree and Roc Nation allegedly used the same type of setup that they did on Tory Lanez. A whole network of people, including a doctor who they used to take her down without even seeing her in person.
It's called the Baker Act. Under state law, people can be forced into a facility for a mental health evaluation if, among other reasons, they are a danger to themselves or others.
But in a new lawsuit, a South Florida woman says that she was held in mental institutions for nearly 2 weeks for no legitimate reason. And she shared body camera video that she says proves her case and raises questions about how this law meant to protect people can be implemented. NBC6 investigative reporter Amy Viteri takes a closer look.
Prevent me from leaving wrong.
The incident started on March 27th of last year.
So legally, I can't go home.
No, you cannot.
Why?
Body camera video shows Broward Sheriff's deputies met on the side of the road in Dania Beach.
Hello. How's it going?
How's it going?
By this man.
I'm waiting for a car to go by. There's a girl driving it. She's like a kind of mentally unstable person.
BSO has not responded to inquiries about who called the deputies there, but it appears they're taking direction from the man in the gray T-shirt.
She's heading over here right now.
Pinging her or?
Yes, they have a GPS on her.
He asks deputies to follow him to a nearby parking lot once she arrives.
I have a doctor, Dr. Boba from Hollywood Memorial Hospital, who's over there right now waiting for her to show up. He's going to fake her out.
And when I showed up, it obviously was not an estimate.
DeMaurie Hadley says she was lured to that parking lot by someone posing as a potential client for the landscaping company she runs with her then boyfriend, now husband.
Now, the Baker Act, short for the Florida Mental Health Act, lets authorities involuntarily detain and evaluate someone if they're seen as a danger to themselves or others. It's named after Maxine Eldridge Baker. The issue is, DeMaurie says she has no history of mental illness. She's claiming her mom, Desiree Perez, made the whole thing up just to get her institutionalized. But why? Because she refused to leave her husband. According to DeMaurie, her mom told her straight up, leave him or I'll get you locked up. And when she didn't, Desiree allegedly followed through, using the same type of tactics she's accused of using on Tory Lanez. But it gets even deeper. DeMaurie claims that Desiree Perez used her connections to get her husband arrested multiple times for things he didn't even do, including false domestic violence charges, just to break them up. DeMaurie says her mom went as far as having her husband falsely arrested for putting hands on her, even though she swears that never happened. She claims Desiree Perez, with all her power and connections, got him locked up just because she didn't want them together. The lawsuit directly names Roc Nation, Desiree Perez, and several others as defendants. DeMaurie is making it clear she doesn't think Desiree acted alone. She believes Desiree used her power, connections, and Roc Nation's reach to target and torment both her and her husband. You about to see why Desiree Perez and Roc Nation has the game on lock. Their reach? Different. Anybody who's ever tried to go up against them folded quickly. Ain't nobody really trying to press that line. Cause Roc Nation is out here playing chess while everybody else is out here playing pity pat. The only one who even acted like he wanted to smoke was Kanye, and we all seen how that turned out. On July 18, 2022, they found out Desiree Perez allegedly had a camera and mic planted inside DeMaurie and Javon's bedroom without consent. That means their private convos were being recorded illegally. Now, how does something like that even happen? Simple. The same network they've been accused of using to control people's lives. The goal? Catch Javon saying or doing something that could be twisted into abuse, then use it to break them up or get him locked up. Then on March 1st, 2024, it got even dirtier. Evidence shows someone hacked DeMaurie's iCloud. And the kicker? That unauthorized device came straight from Roc Nation's HQ in New York. Allegedly, their tech team pulled her texts, pics, and videos, straight invasion mode. DeMaurie only got one iPhone, so when she saw an iPhone 2 linked to her iCloud, she was like, hold up, what's this? She checked the location, and boom, it's pinging from the Roc Nation headquarters. That's when it hit her. She got hacked. Now, Dede's on trial for RICO, running a whole criminal organization. And this whole situation with Desiree Perez is given the exact same type of energy. She's accused of using a full network of people, professionals, to help her commit crimes, allegedly hacking her daughter's own iPhone to find dirt to get her husband locked up, all because she doesn't want them together. And if she's willing to do that with her own daughter, someone she loves, imagine how far she's willing to go with someone she doesn't even care about. On September 14, 2023, DeMaurie says Desiree Perez lured her to her home under false pretenses for an intervention with an unlicensed counselor. She allegedly took her dog, blocked her from leaving, and threatened to Baker Act her if she didn't leave Javon, even using a racial slur, calling him the hard ER. That same day, Desiree reportedly confronted Javon at her grandfather's house, told him she knew everything they were doing, and threatened his life if he stayed with DeMaurie. Cops were called for false imprisonment, but no charges were filed, allegedly because of her influence. Then on October 1st, after DeMaurie and Javon moved to Homestead to get away, Desiree allegedly rented a house across the street, set up cameras, and hired CTS Research Inc. to follow them 24/7. It got so bad, one unlicensed investigator even flashed a gun while tailing Javon. This ain't just a bad breakup. This sounds like full-on obsession backed by power and money. When people say Tory Lanez got set up, story makes it sound way more believable.
This lawsuit, she claims her mother, Desiree Perez, used unlawful means to have DeMaurie falsely detained under Florida's Baker Act and Marchman Act.
So she's the CEO of Roc Nation, a company that she owns along with Sean Carter, the famous rapper Jay-Z.
The complaint alleges a conspiracy, saying Perez used her money, power, and influence to tear apart DeMaurie and her husband, Javon Hadley, and created an enterprise of individuals to effectuate her plot.
To essentially try to separate me from my husband and to falsely accuse him of domestic violence.
Perez has repeatedly denied these allegations in court filings. A month before DeMaurie filed her complaint, we found her mother filed her own lawsuit against DeMaurie's husband, Javon. Citing evidence, Perez says he has abused her daughter for years, something the couple has denied in court records. In that lawsuit, Desiree Perez says she moved to Baker Act her daughter, fearing she was at risk of and abusing prescription drugs.
I haven't seen anything in my entire 20 years of practicing law that it is so clear that someone did something wrong.
Attorney Hilton Napoleon is representing DeMaurie in the lawsuit, which claims Perez harassed the couple for years, including making unfounded claims to get Javon arrested on multiple occasions for battery and domestic violence.
And y'all ain't heard nothing yet. You're about to see why I call her the Madam Stompinato of the music industry, because she's ruthless with a press pass. She don't just move smart, she moves militant. This ain't no regular exec. This is somebody who can clear a room without saying a word. Tory, man, he was playing checkers while she was in the background playing 3D chess. He never had a shot. In October 2023, Desiree Perez allegedly stepped in to bail out DeMaurie's job financially. Company was struggling, and Desiree, who basically got endless money, came through with a loan. But according to DeMaurie, she didn't do it out of kindness. She wanted control over her daughter in return. Once the company Iconic got the bailout, they boosted DeMaurie's salary from $65K to $125K. Sounds like a win, right? But it came with a catch. Crazy work hours meant to keep her away from Javon. Then, on December 12th, her bosses made her join a so-called Zoom training with Nike Academy, but it was a setup. The trainer was actually Rachel Bernstein, a California therapist who specializes in cults, pretending to be someone named Rachel Thomas. Turns out the Nike Academy didn't even exist. They created a fake profile, used it to run a covert psych eval, and then wiped it clean. Now, if she didn't have mental health issues before, she's got them now. DeMaurie's been stalked, watched 24/7, had her home bugged, and even her job slipped on her after her mom bailed them out. They set up fake work meetings just to do psych evaluations on her, just to get her institutionalized. The fact that she's still standing is proof that she's a warrior in her own right. When the salary boost didn't work, they flipped the switch and got grimy. According to DeMaurie, in January 2024, Iconic fired her out of nowhere, even after giving her good reviews. Then they withheld her December paycheck, telling her she had to sign a gag order to get it. She refused. That gag order? It would have stopped her from ever speaking on the fake Nike meeting or that bogus therapist. So now she's fired and broke, basically forcing her to depend on Desiree Perez for survival. And that was the real goal, control her by cutting off her options. Now, if you've been locked in on the Tory Lanez case, this is gonna feel like straight up deja vu, because what Desiree Perez allegedly did to Javon is almost a carbon copy of what Tory Lanez said they did to him. Between December 26th to the 30th, 2023, Desiree Perez allegedly made false police reports claiming Javon beat her daughter 2 years earlier. Then on December 30th, she took it further and called 911 saying Javon kidnapped his own wife at Pinto Farms. Cops pulled up and arrested him right in front of his nephews. Even though the state attorney said the claim seemed sketchy, they still charged him, allegedly because of Desiree's pool. Then it got dark. On January 8th, 2024, she allegedly hired an attorney, Brett Swarth, who showed up to court pretending to represent DeMaurie without her knowing. In court, Swarth pushed for trafficking charges against Javon, making it look like his own wife was saying he was dangerous when she wasn't even involved. The goal? Make sure Javon couldn't walk free, even if DeMaurie denied everything. With a lawyer claiming to speak for her, the court would believe she was scared, and that's how you get someone railroaded. Roc Nation and Jay-Z are already facing a lawsuit from a Pennsylvania attorney. The claims? They had influence over prosecutors. And now, DeMaurie is about to break down how Desiree Perez allegedly pulled the same strings in Javon's case. On February 1st, 2024, Desiree Perez allegedly emailed prosecutors from her Roc Nation email, asking them to drag out Javon's case just to keep him stressed, and they actually did it. That kind of cool? Wild. Then on March 26th, she allegedly told Roc Nation staffer Natalie Anderson to send a fake audio clip of a woman screaming, "Don't me," to DeMaurie's therapist, trying to frame Javon. But the therapist, Dr. Al Burial, who knew DeMaurie's personally, refused to go along with it or support a Baker Act. Now this is straight up racketeering. Desiree Perez is moving like a protected federal asset. She already wore a wire on the cartel, beat her case, and now use that same power to control prosecutors, tech people, and professionals. Tory Lanez never stood a chance. And this ain't just rumors. This is her own daughter calling it out with names, dates, and verifiable details. You could contact a therapist and confirm it. If she'll go this hard to ruin her own daughter, why wouldn't she do the same or worse to Tory? Now, if you're thinking that's a stretch, you're not seeing the full picture. On March 29, 2024, Desiree Perez filed a fraudulent Marchman Act petition claiming DeMaurie was seeking drugs from Liz Fala and someone named Garcia, but both later testified that DeMaurie doesn't use drugs or alcohol, completely shutting down Desiree's claims. Now, you do have to give some credit to the husband here, or a lot of credit, because most people would have left in this situation, but he stayed. Not only stayed, but married her. But now, you're about to see just how deep this got. How many times he got locked up? His freedom snatched for doing absolutely nothing. Local police even admitted it. According to DeMaurie, they wrote a letter calling out Desiree Perez for using her influence to falsely charge Javon. On April 5th, 2024, Javon was arrested again. Desiree Perez, with attorneys Laura Godds and Jessica Casso, allegedly pressured Miami-Dade police to arrest him for a September 11th, 2023 incident they'd already ruled had no probable cause. Same evidence, recycled, but this time they acted. Then, just 3 days later, on April 8th, Javon was arrested a third time after Desiree's private investigators claimed he violated a stay-away order by entering his own home to feed a cat. The officer admitted it came from the higher-ups' orders, and even the state admitted the surveillance used was shady. Now, this is next level power. She got cops out here saying, "We have no idea why we arrested this dude. We just got told to." And it ain't just the supervisor, it's the boss's boss. Even the DA couldn't explain it. That's a whole different level of pull. And honestly, that type of power doesn't belong anywhere near hip hop. She's moving like a modern day slave catcher. Straight up. Just wrecking people's lives, it's nothing. And she's tied to Jay-Z. But real talk, I'm starting to wonder who really put who on, because she went from federal informant to one of the top dogs in the industry, right under Lucien. That ain't regular. I remember when Jay-Z was in that lawsuit mess with Tony Busby, and out of nowhere, a whole YouTube channel got completely demonetized just for letting Jaguar Wright speak on him. Not flagged, not a couple videos hit, the entire channel wiped out. Never seen that before. And allegedly, that's what the channel said. They got shut down for even mentioning Jay-Z's name. Now that's different. On April 26, 2024, attorney Lauren Gotts, hired by Desiree Perez, pulled up to the state attorney's office during DeMaurie's sworn statement, acting like she was representing her. Pure intimidation play. Just days before, on April 22nd, Desiree filed a bogus lawsuit against DeMaurie, claiming ownership of a car that's illegally in DeMaurie's name, saying there was some mutual agreement that DeMaurie supposedly broke. Straight pressure tactics. Now, once the criminal charges didn't stick and they pushed through all that, Desiree allegedly switched gears and went the civil route. She started suing Javon, and even went as far as suing her own daughter. Y'all heard bits about the Javon lawsuit earlier, but if y'all want the full breakdown, drop a comment and I'll do another video on it.
3 different collateral sources of information that say that she's been acting psychotic, that she threatened to overdose yesterday.
DeMaurie's lawsuit alleges her mother conspired with prominent psychiatrist Dr. Daniel Bober, seen here in body camera video, and others to have DeMaurie committed for a mental health evaluation. Bober cites supporting evidence from her family and diagnosed DeMaurie with an unspecified psychosis. He ordered she be taken to Memorial Regional Hospital, where he is chief of psychiatry, and where results from drug tests taken upon admission were negative, according to records DeMaurie shared with us.
They told me your tox screens came out negative, and I go, I know. I don't do drugs.
In a statement, Dr. Bober's attorney said DeMaurie was placed under the Baker Act for 38 hours due to the potential risk of imminent harm she posed to herself, adding failing to take appropriate action would have been a breach of Dr. Bober's ethical and professional obligations. While DeMaurie was at Memorial, her mother further petitioned to have her transported to a different facility under Florida's Marchman Act, claiming again in court records that DeMaurie suffered from severe drug abuse. A judge granted that petition.
They ran the test. They knew that she had no drugs in her system and she was not abusing drugs. And the fact that you can't do anything about it is scary.
DeMaurie was sent to this treatment center in Deerfield Beach, where Dr. Bober serves as medical director.
Where are the people that are supposed to protect me from this happening?
According to her lawsuit, DeMaurie requested a hair follicle test at that facility called Life Skills, which detects drug use for at least the past 3 months, and which showed no drugs had been in DeMaurie. DeMaurie was held at Life Skills until April 8th. She shared discharge paperwork that lists a diagnosis of persistent depressive disorder, which she disputes. No medication was prescribed. Court records show DeMaurie was able to leave that day after her mother voluntarily dismissed the case. But DeMaurie says the damage has been done, and she feels a system designed to keep people safe failed to protect her.
Money, influence, and power should not be something that's used, right, or abused to hurt innocent people.
There's around 20 counts listed in the case, hitting multiple defendants. On the federal side, Desiree's facing RICO, Fourth Amendment violations, federal wiretap, and Stored Communications Act violations, alongside Roc Nation and others. On the state side, they're coming with civil conspiracy, false imprisonment, negligence, Marchman Act violations, emotional distress, and a whole list of communication law violations. And as for what she's asking for, money, no question. Economic and non-economic damages, a full confession, plus punitive triple damages under RICO, and legal fees all covered. She's going for everything. Now, DeMaurie hit it dead on. Having money and power does not give you the right to wreck folks' lives. And from how it's looking, that's exactly what's been going on. Allegedly. But still, this whole thing is sick. But in my opinion, they better tread lightly. Dede thought he was untouchable too. Had folks moving grimy for him. And one lawsuit flipped his whole empire. And now he's fighting a real federal RICO case. Same thing could happen here easy. And I'd be surprised if it doesn't. Or would I? But hey, if you made it this far, click the left side of your screen to see why a witness not showing up in Dede's case might actually help him. Or hurt him. But also, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, share to be aware, put me in that algorithm because I need to be there, man. Because I know there's 10 other streamers out there doing it like me, but...
Fuck that little 10. I'm maxed out.